DeAndre Hopkins, one of the most electrifying wide receivers in NFL history, is on the move again. As the trade deadline approaches, teams are scrambling to secure his talents, and the possibilities are endless. Imagine him donning the jersey of every NFL team. What would that look like? Let's explore the most exciting options and where Hopkins could land next. Currently playing for the Tennessee Titans, DeAndre Hopkins has made a name for himself after stints with the Houston Texans and Arizona Cardinals. His remarkable hands and playmaking ability still make him a coveted asset even as he ages. With receiver-needy teams looking to bolster their rosters before the deadline, he stands out as one of the biggest names on the trade block. 1. Arizona Cardinals. Hopkins made a significant impact during his time in Arizona.
Hopkins. That's why they're forced to take care of him with the safeties behind.
Accumulating 2,996 yards and 17 touchdowns over 3 seasons. A reunion might be unlikely, but imagine him back where it all began. Could he help the Cardinals rebound this season? 2. Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons boast an exciting offense with Kirk Cousins at the helm. Adding a veteran like Hopkins could provide the spark they need to compete in the NFC South, complementing talented young players like Drake London and Kyle Pitts. 3. Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are navigating a rough season, but they could still use Hopkins to mentor their young quarterback, Bryce Young. Surrounding Young with elite talent could be vital for his development moving forward.
Carolina is going to bench Bryce Young and bring in Andy Dalton under center.
4. Chicago Bears. With an already crowded receiver room featuring DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, adding Hopkins could be an aggressive move to bolster the Bears' offense. They're looking to build a formidable attack around rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. 5. Dallas Cowboys. After losing some key receivers, the Cowboys might want to make a big splash by acquiring Hopkins. Pairing him with CeeDee Lamb could create an explosive passing attack under Dak Prescott, making them a serious playoff contender. 6. Detroit Lions. While the Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown as their top receiver, they could use an additional veteran presence. Hopkins would bring experience and skill to a team with playoff aspirations, enhancing their already potent offense. 7. Green Bay Packers. With some turmoil at the receiver position, the Packers could benefit from Hopkins' skill set. He could serve as a reliable target for Jordan Love, especially if tensions rise with current receivers. 8. Los Angeles Rams. The Rams need depth at the receiver position, with injuries affecting their star players.
And I want to start here, because the Rams are having a rash of injuries.
Bringing in Hopkins could solidify their receiving core, providing Matthew Stafford with a trusted target. 9. Minnesota Vikings. As one of the last undefeated teams,
untested Vikings team, although they did beat the 49ers, they did blow out the Texans, they did beat the Jets in London.
The Vikings could look to add Hopkins to an already impressive roster. With Justin Jefferson leading the charge, Hopkins could take their offense to the next level. 10. New Orleans Saints. The Saints started strong but have faltered lately. Adding Hopkins to their roster could reignite their offense and provide much-needed experience during their playoff push. 11. New York Giants. Malik Neighbors has impressed in his rookie season, but the Giants would benefit from adding a veteran like Hopkins. His experience could help guide the young offense and create a balanced attack. 12. Philadelphia Eagles. With A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith leading the charge, the Eagles could use Hopkins as a third option. He could elevate their passing game and keep defenses guessing. 13. San Francisco 49ers. Even with a loaded roster, the 49ers have faced injuries this season. Adding a player of Hopkins' caliber could ensure they maintain their offensive firepower during crucial moments. 14. Seattle Seahawks. While the Seahawks lead the league in receiving yards, they might still want to consider trading for Hopkins. His experience could complement their existing talent and add depth to their receiving core. 15. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin have long been a dynamic duo, but imagine adding Hopkins to the mix. This could create an unstoppable trio, giving the Buccaneers a serious offensive threat. 16. Washington Commanders. The Commanders have surprised many with their offensive performance. A trade for Hopkins could elevate their game even further, pairing him with emerging talent like Terry McLaurin. 17. Baltimore Ravens. Despite having invested in young receivers, the Ravens could benefit from a proven talent like Hopkins. Adding him to Lamar Jackson's arsenal could make for an exciting offense. 18. Buffalo Bills. After trading for Amari Cooper, the Bills may not be actively pursuing Hopkins. Still, if they lose any more key players, they might need to reconsider their options at receiver. 19. Cincinnati Bengals. With T. Higgins and Jamar Chase in a precarious contract situation, acquiring Hopkins could provide a much-needed safety net for their offense as they navigate contract negotiations. 20. Cleveland Browns. The Browns have been more focused on selling than buying at this point in the season. However, they could still consider Hopkins to fill the void left by Amari Cooper's departure. 21. Denver Broncos. While the Broncos have a solid core of receivers, adding Hopkins could provide an element of speed and route running that has been missing from their offense. His previous experience in orange would make for a smooth transition. 22. Houston Texans. Despite having one of the best receiving core in the NFL, a reunion with Hopkins could add an interesting dynamic. His legacy with the Texans could make for a compelling storyline. 23. Indianapolis Colts. The Colts have been building their receiving core for Anthony Richardson. If they want to provide him with another elite target, Hopkins could fit that role perfectly. 24. Jacksonville Jaguars. With their young receivers stepping up, the Jaguars may not be in the market for Hopkins. However, adding a veteran presence could elevate their passing game. 25. Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are always on the lookout for more firepower. With injuries decimating their receiver group, Hopkins would be a perfect fit in Kansas City, adding experience and skill to their already explosive offense. 26. Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are in a transition period. While bringing in another veteran like Hopkins might seem counterintuitive, they could look to leverage his talent while they rebuild their receiver room. 27. Los Angeles Chargers. With significant losses at the receiver position, the Chargers could benefit from a trade for Hopkins. He would offer stability as they navigate their roster challenges. 28. Miami Dolphins. While the Dolphins already have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, adding Hopkins would create an electrifying trio that could dominate defenses across the league. 29. New England Patriots. With a struggling receiving core, the Patriots would do well to consider trading for Hopkins. He could provide a much-needed security blanket for their rookie quarterback. 30. New York Jets. After acquiring Devontae Adams, the Jets have depth at receiver. However, adding Hopkins could give Aaron Rodgers another familiar target as they aim for a deep playoff run. 31. Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are always linked to receiver trades. With their need for additional talent, don't be surprised if they make a move for Hopkins to bolster their offense. 32. Tennessee Titans. Currently with the Titans, Hopkins has a chance to prove himself before the deadline. However, the team's struggles could lead to him being moved for the right offer. As the trade deadline approaches, the possibilities for DeAndre Hopkins are endless. Whether he stays with the Titans or finds a new home, one thing is certain: his impact on the NFL will be felt wherever he lands. Will he end up in a contender's jersey, or will he stay with a struggling team? The clock is ticking, and the drama is just beginning.